Thank you, Chief, for being here, and thank you for what you're doing. I'm disgusted with how Congress has handled all this. You couldn't make this up. We don't want to secure a border, then people want to complain that you're not doing your job. I think it's disgusting what people are doing. So, Mr. Hastings, what do you need Congress to do to allow you to do the job you're actually hired to do, rather than the job you're having to do today because Congress has not acted?
Thank you for the question, sir. So, as I said in my opening, first and foremost short term, we need additional funding for the supplemental, as do our partners, because as I mentioned again, the volume of what we have in our custody right now of that 13,000 is primarily unaccompanied alien children, approximately 1,000 today, and then in addition to that, it's single adult children single adults rather, that we have in custody as well. So HHS and ERO need funding for bed space to get those out of Border Patrol custody and into the care of those who are set up for long-term detention. That's short-term. Long-term, we need a fix that quits allowing this draw for family units and unaccompanied alien children to come to the United States. We have to stop this draw.
All right. Mr. Howe?
I agree. Thank you, Senator. I agree with everything that Chief Hastings said, but in addition, just to underscore the importance of ICE, ERO to get the proper funding and bed space and HHS so that they can relieve our facilities that weren't designed for the long-term detention so we're not in this situation.
Right. Do either of you believe we need to have more border protection? So far, you talked about the supplemental and the Flores decision primarily. So what about, do we need any funding to secure the border? This wouldn't be happening if we had a secure border.
Well, right now, I think we absolutely need more funding for border security, but our biggest issue now is pulling away from that 40 to 60% of agents that we're pulling off the line to deal with the humanitarian crisis, the families, and the UACs. That's the biggest problem that we have right now. And in the meantime, while we're dealing with that demographic, a large number of single adults are still trying to evade arrest, to your point. A large dynamic of drugs as well, trying to evade. And they're using these family units who are trying to cross as a diversionary tactic in a lot of cases to be able to make money on drugs and single adults trying to evade arrest.
Mr. Would you like to add anything?
Sure. Thank you for your question. We are the investigative arm of Department of Homeland Security, and the concern that we would have is the more resources we take away from conducting the complex criminal investigation, targeting the transnational criminal organizations that are actually organizing these smuggling loads and human trafficking, by putting people on the border to augment the need that CBP has, takes away potentially from conducting our mission, which is protecting of the homeland via investigations and try to target these transnational criminal organizations.
Mr. Hastings, how does it make you feel when you get asked questions to suggest that you or your team doesn't care about these children that you're taking care of? How do you all feel every day when you get up and you read the papers or see the news where somebody suggests that you're not doing your job?
So it's disgusting to me and it's hurtful to me because daily I see our agents doing just the opposite. Yesterday, I saw our agents in Carrizo Springs jump out of the water, save a 13-year-old child who was unconscious, give him CPR, give him mouth-to-mouth, and essentially bring him back to life. That happened yesterday on our border, and that happens quite often, time and time again. Our men and women are out there risking their lives every day to save those migrants that are either put into a bad position by smugglers or put themselves into a bad position. So above and beyond that, our agents go to the maximum to care for these children. You've seen pictures on as well of our agents holding these children, trying to comfort them. So it's very hurtful for us, for our agents who are out there trying to do the best they can at securing our border and dealing with this humanitarian crisis.
How's it impact your ability to recruit and retain your team to do this job?
So our workforce is doing well right now, but they want to see a light at the end of the tunnel, quite frankly, to be able to go back to their primary national security mission. And that's what we're hopeful for, that we go back to a primary national security mission and we see legislative changes that allow us to do that, that quit the draw for the family units and the unaccompanied alien children.
So do you have concerns when you do your job every day that because of how much time you're having to spend because Congress won't act, that we have individuals that are crossing the border that want to harm Americans?
I'm concerned with that. I'm concerned with recruiting individuals in this current state that we're in right now, recruiting good agents to do this in the future. And I'm worried when we're diverted by the humanitarian crisis, what is coming through our border. The best example I could give is about 2 months ago, we had a large group come across in Rio Grande Valley. This is broad daylight. At the same time, we had 791 pounds of cocaine a mile away across the border in broad daylight. That tells me that there's very little fear in the minds of the smuggling organizations and the narcotics traffickers because they know we're tied up with other things. Humanitarian mission.
Anybody else?
Senator, I've been around for almost 3 decades, and I've been used to this, via my career. But I'd like to put it in perspective. Can you imagine a new agent that has just come on, that just went out and had a very successful day? They seized enough fentanyl that could kill hundreds and millions of people, or they arrested a potential terrorist suspect or a gang member, or they rescued a child from an exploitation. And they get home and they turn on the nightly news. And there's information on the news saying abolish certain agencies. Can you imagine how that agent feels? I know personally when I come home, I don't even want to watch that because it's very hurtful, as my colleague stated. So it is very hurtful, and the men and women of ICE, HSI, ERO are out there every day trying to make this country safe.
Yeah.
I'll just add, Senator, it's an unnecessary distraction. Our officers want to be mission-focused. They want to be doing what they were hired to do, enforcing our laws and facilitating legitimate trade and travel. We don't want to be distracted with processing migrants to the numbers we are.
Yeah, I've been here 6 months. I'm disgusted that we sit here and you watch on the news where people that are trying to do their job get attacked and Congress sits here and doesn't do their job. It's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my entire career, my business career. You wouldn't do this in your business career. Thank you.